affecting people.
It's nice to be able to laugh at yourself, isn't it, man?
Oh yeah. I mean, seriously.
It's a nice characteristic for any action figure to have, I reckon. We can have a giggle at
You can catch up with everyone who's been laughing at you. You can laugh with. You can laugh with.
Yeah.
Now we're laughing near you.
Yeah. Oh, we got a non-Sindhu. Nice to see him. Zoe, John Luna. Oh, John Luna dropped in. He's a homeboy from the Bronx.
Hey, Paul, what's up? Nice to see you again.
Hey, good. You know, I was in the Bronx once for 3 months in a program called Project Return, which usually they had a pretty high rate of return. It was Project Return. And it was in the middle of the Bronx, and we had a big mesh fence around the compound, and there was a certain, like a yard. So sometimes you'd be sitting out there in the summer day, and then you'd see this like white nondescript van, and then 5 guys jumping out, and 3 of them run to 3 corners to keep an eye out things, and then they just strip a car in about 45 seconds. everything into the back of the van, tires, fucking everything, and then they were off. It was amazing. Very efficient. Yeah. Less than a minute, the car was like on its axles with nothing, when everything was gone, windshield, everything. So yes. So, all right, well, let's start the meeting, I guess. What time is it? Oh, we better. It's 7:06. All right, whatever that means. Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask first, or if they want to speak about anything specific?
I just want to say I really, really liked your talk last Saturday.
Who is this? Who's this?
It's Lynn.
Oh, Lynn, you really like to talk. Well, we should just play that and I can chill out. Hopefully we can lip sync, and it's basically the same message anyway. But oh, great. I'm happy that yeah. A lot of times it's the infusion of spirit. Sometimes it's got a specific flavor.
Yeah.
And people like that. Yeah. I don't remember it at all. So whatever happened. Yeah. Anyone else? These aren't like requests. I can't sing like a meeting of last week. I don't remember the words. We can whistle along though, maybe. All right, if you're not, I'll just bring something out again. We were talking yesterday at another meeting, and there's this guy who used to deliver real eyes.
You got a hand if you want it.
All right, yeah, a hand?
Oops.
Yeah.
Now it's gone. Where was it? David, down under David.
Oh, David, what do you have, David? You have a question?
No, I don't have much, Paul. Just a quick question. I think I know the answer already, actually. But do you think that spontaneity is a big, is a part of what we really are? I know we can't know what we really are, but to me, it's definitely not what we're not.
Yeah, spontaneity, anything that approaches like no time in a weird way is closer to what's going on. Yeah. So like a lot of times in recovery, you'll suddenly realize, and, sort of like a lightning bolt. And a lot of the time something downloads, it doesn't take any time. And yet a huge amount of let's say info will come through in no time. Yeah. So you start getting a sense of, let's say, no time or not time. Yeah. And a lot of that's basically it's, you know, like they have like 5G speed, whatever, you know, and broadband. Well, the message has a, you know, a no time speed, so to speak. Yes, like a thief in the night, or like a, yeah, whack. So yes, spontaneity is we're always living in spontaneity. The head has a narration in time. Yeah. Yeah. So the head isn't feeling anything. The head is narrating feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, Paul, because it doesn't happen that often to me, but I write music and I write lyrics and stuff. And I don't know, I couldn't put a number on it, but like 1 in every 10 songs I do that. So like on the weekend, I just went up into my studio and I like the song Rise of Public Image Limited. And so I just sort of, I really like the drum beat in that. It's a kick drum and a snare on every fourth beat, this and that. And so I sort of, I didn't copy that, but I came up with my own thing. And I didn't have any lyrics in my head or anything else in my head, like to add to the song. So I just recorded that down. And then just straight away, I picked up the bass, sort of without thinking about it. And I put a bass line down, just a very rough bass line for about 2 minutes. And then here was the interesting thing that's happened to me a few times. I basically did the whole lyric for the song in a mic, just there, without having anything written down. Like I did 4 parts of the first verse, the chorus, and just add sort of bang, you know, like without thinking about it. Didn't even really know what the song was about. And then like 5 minutes later, I suppose, after that, was pretty, felt really good. I had a big smile on my head from ear to ear. But then I started sitting there and thought came into it a lot. Then to come up with the second verse and started thinking about things and what it was about and all that. So I just left it. I didn't record anymore. And I think what I'll do with the song is just record that first verse again, because you can do that in songs. I went to uni for a while and they said, look, if you can't come up with a good second verse, just sing the first one again, you know. But anyway, I just found that very spontaneous, no thought in it. And
well, this is exactly what happens at these talks. You just described it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All spontaneous. And we're not going to write a second verse.
No.
You just it goes the same way every time. That's the whole message. That's the whole Zoom.
And you know, the other quick thing when I read
back have a baseline, 1 second. We have a baseline like a Love Supreme, and then there's just verbal jazz riffing. Yeah.
And here's the beautiful thing. When I read back through it an hour, I went down, had a cup of tea or something. I read back through it an hour later. It's the first verse is totally about seeing, hearing, feeling, and smelling. There was no tasting in there, but just the 4 things got covered. It's easy to fit 4 little topics in a 4x4 timing. It's hard to get 5 in there, maybe. But anyway, I was amazed that it was about non-duality sort of thing, you know. Or what
yeah. I'm amazed that these talks are too.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll shut up.
That's how it goes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the bass line, every note goes off, but always returns back to the same bass line. So what's the bass line here? A supposition that Ramana Maharshi emphasized, which is being ourselves reality, which sounds like a present tense condition. Yes, it's being ourselves reality. The greatest mystery is reality wanting to attain reality. Yeah. So not just to sit there and wonder about wanting to attain reality, but see, there's a pattern in that. Yeah. So the same thing with the seeker and the sought. or not the sword, the sort, S-O-U-G-H-T, the pattern is the seeker and the sort are complementary. Yeah. When something is not sought and you're left with the seeker, there's a realization about the seeker that there isn't one. Yeah. When the seeker is searching, all the searching keeps it occupied where it never questions who the hell is doing the searching. Yeah. So this whole message is to the assumption, another one that Ramana put out. And if you read a lot of the writings about his teachings, you'll see this said in a lot of different ways, but it's always emphasized as quite important, which is this idea of a presupposing a non-existent thing being that which is existing. Yes. So the non-existent thing would be the body. Yeah. So there's a presupposing, obviously not by the body, but there's a presupposing in the head that there's a non-existent thing, that's that which is existing, and then wanting to get salvation for the non-existent thing. Now he says this is probably the condition that precedes all the other conditions. So then the next statement is, the next statement is explained by the first statement, which is your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. What are they reinforcing the non-existent thing as? An existent thing. Yes? So the thing is what's existing, not existing moving through a thing, or not a thing appearing in existence, but the thing itself is that which is existing and is now seeking for salvation as that thing. Yeah. If that's the case, your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing this idea of being the existing thing. Yeah. Concerning the non-existent thing, how can they destroy it? Obviously. Yeah. So what something gets set up as there's a huge obstacle, and that obstacle, like another one he used about the idea of reality using itself to find reality. Okay, so here you go. Reality is being taken as Paul. Paul's not feeling that great. Paul's tried a lot of stuff. He ends up on the last house of the street, spirituality. And now Paul is looking, to get out of the dream, or whatever you want to call it. So now he tries to do it, and it becomes very clear to him sooner or later that the idea of Paul, is the biggest obstacle to getting out of the dreaming. And so now it comes to a realization that the obstacle taken to be real has to be destroyed for reality to become available to Paul. Do you think Paul, identified as the obstacle, is going to rush into reality? Do you think it's going to just dive completely into enlightenment, when enlightenment means the death of what it takes itself to be? There's no fucking way. You're living in cognitive dissonance. And so you're waiting on something that wants to keep waiting. It's not going to come to the point. Yeah. So this is about seeing you're not that. Yeah. You're not that which is seeking for liberation. And then you get freed from the need to be liberated. That's exactly what it feels like. You get freed from the need to be liberated. That's the liberation. Yeah. You get freed from that which believes everything, even the idea of being something, is going to take time. You're freed from that. And then the sense that you were looking for is readily available at all times. Yeah. Right where you are, with no requirement to meet it, because you are it. Yeah. So as our friend was talking about the spontaneity, the rush of the spontaneity is like the thief in the night. You get whacked, and then you see the head try to move towards the whack, because it constantly keeps reasserting it's something else that had the whack. And you see you can't get it. You see the futility of it finally. Yeah. And yet this time, when you see the futility of that which is grasping and trying to arrive and believing it has left and all this stuff, when you see it flailing around, and then that futility triggers a hallelujah, you're onto something. Yeah. You've come to the end of the mission, so to speak. You finally recognize what a failed system can show you. It's failed. Yeah. And there's the relief, readily available. And the point is, when the relief seems to rush in, it informs you it's always been this way. So everything I have ever believed or thought was real or this or that, none of it had any legs to stand on. That's the message that comes through. Anything that's manufactured as the truth never delivers that feeling. It's always been this way. It likes to chant that when it's trying to convince you you're going into a lifelong depression. It's always been this way, but it isn't. But in this case, it's true. Yeah. When that revelation hits, it's always been this way. Upon having never left, it really has it's like when you fall on it, it's a thud. It's solid. Yes. It's not like a paper mache floor that you go through. You hit something. Yeah. Whack. And it's very, 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 very convincing. I don't know what it's convincing. I don't care. But you'll come out of it with a great convincing. Sort of like what Nisargadatta said. He had faith in his teacher. He had faith in the message. And bammo, that was enough. Yes? Got whacked. Yeah. Wasn't in any more argument with it. He was looking just like Mike right now with his hand on his face, just in thinking about the next cigarette after the satsang's over. Yeah, just incredible joy, whatever. He was there. He was here. Yeah, yeah. So we're just trying to question or just see the manufacturing of this something else that's been made to be ourselves. It's not about canceling the manufacturing. It's about see, your interest and attention is feeding the manufacturing of the consent. When it's withheld, you'll just see the rawness of the machinery. You'll see that what you thought was a choice you made is mechanical. Yeah. The head is just doing it. The head gets brought into contact by us, claims that whatever it is coming into contact with, and fills it up with the story. Yes. Simple as that. You never did that. And you are not doing that. When people almost every time when people who would get in touch with me after a talk and say, I really got selfing. Yeah, I really understand selfing. And then they'd go ahead and say, I've been selfing all day, or the selfing has been driving me crazy. That's not the message. The message is you're not that which is being driven crazy by selfing. That's part of the selfing. Yes? The idea there's a you doing it, or the you being done to by it. There isn't one. You didn't do it, and you're not being done to by it. Yeah. Yeah. So we come here. Hopefully it's enjoyable. At least we throw some, humorous bones out there. And all the while it's getting soaked in. You don't have to watch. It's like getting an injection. You don't have to watch the medicine getting shot into the vein. You'll feel it. Yes. Yeah, you don't have to be watching it. Most people don't like watching a syringe go in. So, it's better that you're sent around the corner for a half an hour. So you'll recognize when you come back to try to claim it, you'll realize, yes. See, if the master is aware and present in the house, it's gonna be very hard to fool it that there's another master of the house. Don't you believe? Yeah. If the master of the house is present and available, which we are, when the head comes and says that it's the master of the house, we're not going to buy it anymore, are we?
I think it's
Yeah. So anyone, Mike, anybody have anything?
Anyone want to raise their hand?
Yeah.
Craig May. Hi, Craig.
Lauren,
You know, Mike.
what happened?
What?
What?
I'm looking at Lauren Iverson. What happened to Lauren?
You're talking to,
It's our friend Tyler. Yeah.
Oh,
All right. We got to go back to who's there? William.
Craig.
Oh, Craig. All right, Craig May.
I just have a couple of things. I just wanted to share in relation to what David was talking about quickly. I used to play, I was heavily involved in music too many years ago. I was a drummer. And one day I was recording with these guys doing drum tracks on their music. And I had to listen to this tune a couple of times, and then they sent me out and they said, we'll do a run through. So I did that. When I finished, I didn't actually remember. It happened so quick. It was unbelievable. I didn't actually have any memory of actually playing the drum track. Anyway, I said, right, let's go, and I think I've got it. Let's go and do a take. And they said, hang on a minute, come in here, have a listen to this. We just cut it, and it's fucking perfect. So I went in and had a listen, and it was perfect. It was there was quite some complicated parts in it, but it was just perfect. Now, automatically, the head kicked in and said, hang on a minute, I wasn't there. And I wanted to do it again. I thought, no, I can do it better. It's like the head saying, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So hang on, I need to be there because it's to make it better. So anyway, I went out and I did about another three takes. They're all fine, but none of them had the magic. None of them had the magic that first one had. Anyway, they kept the first take. It was unbelievable because when I finished it, I can remember when I finished the take, I had no memory of actually having done it. It was beautiful. I think,
Yeah.
and I think
It happens a lot. Just
Yeah.
usually the head overrides it and gets back into the saddle. But
Yeah,
it happens a
time.
lot. A lot of people go into what they call the zone in surfing or doing whatever. Painting, gardening, landscaping, everything. Yeah. It's just that the head kicks in and basically leads you to the trough again. And it's just habitual. We in a way, something, knows that marching order and knows how to march, and it goes on. But in fact, you can see that as not you.
Big time.
Yeah.
Something else I wanted to share with you. When I go to bed at night to go to sleep, I like to lie there and I love to marinate in that vibration that we are. That has a frequency, it has a sonic quality that's like the equivalent of light. It's a buzz, it's a hum. It's that field of what we are. It's just exquisite. I love to lie there and feel it and hear it. You don't hear it with the ears, you hear it with the inner ear. But it's beautiful because you can see and feel the action figure drifting off to sleep. But that thing is is just bright. It's just bright and on, and you can see and feel the action figure drifting off to sleep. And I think it's like you were just saying, that's like the big dog. What's seeing the action figure? Action figure's the little dog. And when you've got that, I think when you in time, it can seem like a process where you start to spend more time on that side of things, looking at what you're not from what you are, instead of attempting to look at what, find what you are from what you're not. And I think it gets to a stage where it clicks over, past that 50% mark, perhaps, where all of a sudden you're spending most of your time looking from what you are as opposed to looking from what you're not. And I think that's when there's a bit of a shift.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's when the big dog is in the house and the little dog knows that and it sees it. And I think that's why you can be at utter peace while the action figure isn't. If the action figure's feeling anxiety or it's flipped out, once that ratio changes and you're in that place more often than not, that anxiety, that stress, whatever it is put in context. It's not big, it's not the full screen. It's appearing within the full screen, and it's very minor and small. It doesn't mean you still don't feel the anxiety, but when you're at peace, you graze with that which isn't, because it isn't you. You're at peace. But you see that. You see and feel the action figure. You feel that it's anxiety, but it's just so small, it shrinks. It shrinks in that field. So you get the proper perspective when the big dog's in the house, I think.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes. But see, here we go. We start innocently, and let's say grace has appeared in our lives and we've been whacked into presence, let's say. Yes? And then there's a remembering of that, and yet it doesn't seem to be present, and therefore that which that has been made to be ourselves is now given that job to go back and arrive there again. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, many of us have followed that, and it seems to be a natural progression, but there's something off in it. Yeah? Because people have had the grace of a peak experience, and then they've spent many years searching for more peak experiences. Yet the peak experience did not come from searching, it was grace. Yes?
Yeah.
But so what happens is, okay, the way we're seeing and the possibilities that are available aren't much. So now we have a remembrance or a feeling of that sense of peace or unity or presence or loss of whatever. Yet it's now being used to reinforce that which we're not, and that which we're not now enters paths to try to stabilize that. All the while, all the searching to stabilize it is stabilizing its hierarchy. The little dog is now seen as the big dog, searching for the big dog. Yes? You see?
Yeah.
So this is where non-duality comes in. That way, that seems natural that, oh yeah, I felt free when I was in the water. Now you're in the water at 10 at night, fucking surfing with sharks and shit like that. And you just keep on trying to get to that sense, or fornicating endlessly or whatever, trying to get to that sense. Yeah. But there's time and direction have been produced. Yes. So now we're trying to follow a path or a plan to have an experience of what was freely available. Yeah. And some shit that's freely available at all times, the only way it can be translated when we're seemingly living as a meritocracy and we have to do something is grace. Yeah. But in fact is we weren't anywhere far away from that event that we call a peak experience. It was readily available to trigger at any moment. Yeah. It was the thing that's now rushing in to stabilize it was the obscuring of it. Yeah. So that's why non-duality showed up, because obviously people got whacked by grace, had these things, And then they moved from where they thought they were, which was not where they are. And from there, it looked like they'd have to arrive somewhere. And all right, that arrival then got shot with some time. And then the idea of requirements and conditions and purities and all this shit filled in. Yeah. And yet the way of the warrior is you're going to feel present and available. That's your natural condition. You don't need a way of anything. You're present and available now. Yeah. So it's so weird. We've gotten free samples. That mail didn't go to the Home Depot, home office. It went to a subsidiary, selfing. It got turned into something where now we're using the Buddha to seek the Buddha, just like Huang Po warned us about. We're using light to seek light. We're using Big M mind to seek mind. Now, this doesn't mean stop, just see it. You don't have to stop anything. Yeah. The awareness of it all is the magic elixir. You just see it. Yeah. And then see what happens. Yeah. Don't rush to arms because that's what you're not. And therefore, there's a forgetting of what we are. There's a remembering of what we're not. And then what we're not is now producing and manufacturing paths for it to get back to where it never left. And now the story of what you are is more the story of what you're not. It's insane, yes? So this is the point. When that lion who was confused and thought it was a sheep and tried to live the best sheep life it could be, and it maybe even had dreams of becoming a lion, yeah? When actually the dream was being a lion, it got translated into a dream that one day I may become a lion as a sheep, yeah? And all these shenanigans occurred, all based on the ignorance of its own natural condition. It is a lion, yeah? Then that old lion comes in, they have the event, the old lion puts both their heads over the water, and they see the young lion sees the reflections, gets it, bammo, yeah? That's what everyone thinks. Okay, end of the parable. Yeah. End of the parable. The parable ends when the young lion gets it's a lion. Yeah. But what happens if you add time to the parable? What happens when your young lion walks away from the pond? The sheep programming kicks in and has now the revelation of its own nature as a peak experience the sheep had. You see, this is what happened. There was a message of the lion in the parable in the pond, and then non-duality came in after to correct what the mistake was that was going to happen, because it's mechanical. The lion did not choose that mistake. The mental activity mechanically does what happened after the pond. Yes? This is non-duality. This is the point. So now, that which is always stable, you don't have to make it more stable. It becomes stable in your experience when you see you're not the instability. Yes? That's the point. We're not looking to the truth. We're looking from the truth to the falsehood. That's the message of this. That's the direction of this delivery of this message. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not talking about what you are. I'm talking about what we're not. Yeah. Because what happens if you talk about what we are? It becomes concepts held by what you're not. So basically, when you're talking about the freedom and the lightness, that becomes more conceptual baggage. And you can see it in the example of satsangs, where most people in satsang would have been better off if they had never heard the word awakening. And definitely would be better off if they had never heard the word enlightenment, because the hearer of that word has turned that word into something other than that what it means. Enlightenment, one definition, is the cessation of all suffering. When the head claims it, it uses it to cause suffering. What more do you need to know? That one example should shut the case, should fucking shut the cover on the case. Yes? So non-duality is an addition to the message because it's needed here. Yeah? In all there is at all times, there would be no need to question that which is seeking stability. There would just be stability. Yes? But here in the world of appearances, we need to entertain what we're not, to have a sense of what we are. Yeah? Because if we have a sense of what we are without seeing what we're not, it's going to be turned into something of what you're not. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Hasn't it happened with you, Craig, and everyone else in this place?
Yeah.
You felt completely removed and then you're held up again. What the fuck happens? Well, what we're sharing is what happens. Yeah. The timelessness gets overridden in time by the claiming of it as an experience that the time creature is having. Yeah. Yes, yes. So here, this is the message. Like my friend with the eyes, he used to think, oh, I'm not that, the guy who's driving around with the eyes. Then he realized he had to see that which was talking about the guy driving around with the eyes. Exactly. Yes? Being, non-duality. You are of a dualistic nature. The appearance of Craig and Paul looking like a singular body is a dualistic activity. Non-duality. Yes? The objective idea of Craig and the subjective idea of Craig are both Craig's and both not us. Yes? Bammo. That's how it works. All I saw at one point was one. I wanted that one to be negated and destroyed and beaten and wrestled and vanquished. That fucking didn't work. Because that which was vanquishing it was an apparition of the same thing I wanted vanquished. Who would have known? Now we do. This is the glory of satsang. You realize there's another step, not into the dance of the room, but a step back. Not only seeing you as what you're not, but seeing the you that's seeing you as what you're not, Yes? Bammo. That's this message. Yeah. We're not saying, I want everyone here to march forward. No, I want everyone to take a step back. Yeah. Have you had stabilized, fucking free and easy, unearned joy by seeing Mike? Or has the unearned joy been readily available and able to be enjoyed by seeing you're not Mike and seeing you're not the one that's saying it, seeing you're not Mike? I think it's the latter. Yeah, I do. That's why we're here every week. I can't stand when someone starts describing what we are. I can't, because I can see the describing what the idea of what we're not is just blowing up like a balloon. This is about popping it. Yes, pop. What happens? Then the one that's been objectified and is constantly being watched over it's like a free range fucking action figure. It can graze now without having to have meritocracy and all this shit come up. Yeah. If life's being nice to it, it's fucking quite welcoming of it. I don't deserve this. Of course you don't deserve it. Yeah. Just, yeah. Yeah. So there it is, Craig. So yeah, what you're sharing whatever a lot of us have been through all the time, is not gaining interest in what we are, it's losing interest in what we're not. Be clear about the direction here. Yeah. Yeah.
That was beautiful, bro. I feel like I've just been fucking Zen bitch slapped.
Well, there you go. That's the point. When I'm Zen bitch slapping you, I'm getting Zen bitch slapped. Both my cheeks and my ass are vibrating right now. I woken up Ken Kundalini there. You can feel it. Yeah. It's already blown my head off. I'm not afraid of it anymore. That oil pulse can't go any farther. All right. Anyone else, Mike?
Both ass cheeks.
Both ass cheeks. Usually it's the right, but now it's the left and the right.
No other hands showing.
All right. Well, I think we've done our job today. Eh? If Cray May received the Zen bitch slap, it's going to reverberate through all the other squares. Yeah. So, Craig, just smile like you are. I see it's moving. It went through this square I'm in. It's hitting let's see, who is this person? It's hitting William. It's going to take a second or two. It's moving through William to Mike. Yeah, it may take longer for Mike, a little longer. Let's stay in there. Get those both cheeks vibrating. Kathleen, it's entered and went through. It said hello to itself through Kathleen.
Went through.
Dana. Yes. Lynn D, it's moving down to your big toe. And it's going to shoot back up to the 1,000-petal lotus. Yes. Wow. Take your shoes off. It'll be more comfortable. Tyler, you're going to look like Lauren. Wow. Incredible. Bill Churchman, I don't think you can get even more comfortable than you are now, but that's what's going to happen. Yeah. David, yes, you're going to know the second and third chorus of every fucking song. Madeline, what goes around comes around, right back at you. Dennis W. Greg, Minneapolis, yes. Yes.
No, Burning Man.
Oh, you're in Burning Man. Holy cow.
Yeah, man. I'm the burner.
What's going on?
I don't know who Greg is. Who's that?
Yeah, what's going on there? Is it dusty? Rain?
It's finally getting dusty. It was fucking swampland for 3 days. I'm
Wow.
helping build center camp, and it's it's really brought people close together. The community is absolutely amazing. Yeah, very, very awesome people.
Oh, great.
Yep. Thanks.
Yes. Well,
Thank
good.
you, Paul.
You're gonna be our reporter, so we don't need daily reports every few days.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it hasn't even begun yet. It's just a build.
All right, let us know as it's building. Yes. All right.
All right. Peace out.
Please. We're gonna count on you, Greg. We want to have access to Burning Man through the Zoom.
Well, all right. I'll do my best. I already stole the Wi-Fi.
All right, that's okay.
Yeah.
You're a blessing. Go steal more. Don't worry.
All right, motherfucker.
All right, there you go.
All right.
Florida, John. Yes.
So, Paul, great talk, buddy.
Now everything you ever hear again is going to be in stereo, John. Yeah.
It already is.
There you go.
I want to run this by Craig, man. Because being a musician myself, I could never write a song, and it just dawned on me listening to your talk what the problem was. I was asking, what can't write a song, from what can't write a song, why I can't write a song.
There you go. That's its great value. It just can't admit it can't write a song. So you got to admit that it can't write a song and start fucking writing a song. Yeah.
Right, it's gotta come.
Yeah.
from
Don't wait
somewhere
for
other
it
than self.
because it's actually clear in this moment. It can't write a song. It's telling you the truth. Thank God it's not you. Yeah. You can write a song. That's cool. Anu. It's not yet for your eternal sleep, Anu. You have a job to do here. Yes, remember. We got Marty. Marty Wi-Fi. I think he's happy today. Gil, what's going on, my friend Gil? Where are you from? He's from the land of silence.
Yeah, Land of Silence. I'm in Michigan.
Oh, nice to see you, Gil.
Yeah. It was a wonderful talk.
Mike Clark. Actually, Mike Clark, your skin got lighter. I don't know what happened.
I turned on a little light. I couldn't see myself. I couldn't see what was going on. I'm sitting here in the dark, like, what the hell?
Yeah, all right.
Not that I need to see myself.
I like Mike. It's funny, never mind. I had a chance to go see. I went to Nisargadatta's home, right, and met his family, and then I went to this little hole in the wall where he used to sell the cigarettes. So this guy was very nice, an Indian guy named Murti, who I was really impressed by when I was over there. I don't know where he went or what happened. Where he took me in Bombay, he was a bookie. He took me to the racetrack. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. Rick R. in Toronto. Nice to see you, Rick. Sherry. Yeah. Al in Vegas. Al. I'm very happy to call you a friend, Al. I hope you feel the same way.
Yeah.
There you
Very
go.
moving. Yes, thank you for that. Appreciate you, sir.
You're more than welcome. We've got Sydney B.
Hi, Paul.
Hey,
Good to
Sydney.
Thanks for the
How are
talk.
you?
A good reminder.
Oh, good. I'm happy. Yes. Lisa M. That's a very strange picture, a cow and something. I don't know.
It's in the water, Paul. Don't worry about it. It's wearing a dress too, so there's
The
just all
funny thing is, I had a dream of drowning, and the guy or the girl that was coming to save me looked just like this picture, the cow.
That sounds like a good dream to me.
Very psychic there. All right. Mia, I don't know where the hell Mia is.
She's in Pismo Beach.
She got out of the cult. That's good. Nice to see you, Mia. I know it's Hari on Hazaphone. Yes, nice to see you. Are you in your property now, Hari? Remember, it's not your property. It's just property. Yeah. Miranda. Yes.
I'll go with you.
Yeah. All right, let me go to the rest of the page. I think we could fill up the whole talk by just hellos and goodbyes, eh? Pretty nice. Cassandra, man, she came in with a thud. She hasn't moved since. That's pretty good.
No, I'm here for the duration.
Shannon Corkery. Susan K, my latte lady. We've got Christine in Hawaii. She's in Kona. Eh?
Hey, Paul, really quick.
Who's this? We can't hear you well. Can you hear him, Mike?
Struggling today. Can you repeat that? Repeat.
Breaking up.
Hold on. Okay, can you hear me now a little bit? A little bit? Can you hear me?
A little better, yes, but not that great. What's up?
Yeah. Oh, nothing. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Whew. Staying on the operating table, but can you just repeat like self can't get out of self? Just that last two statements you made. It's just like
I can't hear. I heard self can't get out of self, but
I was just wondering if you could repeat that, the last kind of two sentences as a reminder.
oh, you want to speak about self can't get out of self?
Yes. For a minute.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So whatever, we don't need to know there's something before what we call our idea of self. Yes. Yes. That which is before is what we're actually looking for. Self tries to get out of self. It's just more of self. Yes. Do you see that? So the head claims to be the one, let's call it Paul, and now wants to get out of something called self as Paul. And it makes sense because it believes Paul is completely different than self, so it should be easy for Paul to get out of self. But Paul is an adjunct to this idea of self. So Paul, aka self, is trying to get out of self. And the message is self, aka Paul, can't get out of self. Yeah. So what happens? If you see this, you're going to stop trying to get out of self, and maybe you'll start seeing you're not in self. Yeah. And not being in self.
And that's where the relief comes. With the
that's where the relief is. Yes.
Okay.
Because obviously, let's say you feel like you're successful getting out of self, like shooting very good cocaine. I felt I was successful getting out of self for 4 minutes when my body was rushing. And yet inevitably, after 4.5 minutes, there I was again, seemingly. Yes. So the only way I could see it is I'd have to shoot more coke and better coke so I could get higher, and hopefully if I got so high I wouldn't fall back to the ground and self again. But that didn't work either. What happened is finally I heard a message that questioned, am I in that which I want to get out of so much? And that was a very novel way of looking at it. I had never looked at it that way. And I really had never been introduced to looking at it that way, except through non-duality. So once I saw it, once I saw that which wanted to get out of self was not me, there was a loss of interest in all the ways and all the plans to get out of self. And I realized I'm not in self. Yes? Yes. And therefore, now I don't get caught in self can't get out of self because I'm not in self. Yes? Yeah. So self, I love watching self try to get out of self with very, very weak props, like not a real syringe and super high level coke, but fucking nothing. So it can pantomime its attempt to get out of self, but it's the production value really sucks now because it's got nothing to work with. So I found relief not by getting out, but realizing I'm not in. Yeah, it's that simple. And it's not like I could be in, I was in, but I'm not in now. No, I don't believe we're a noun, N-O-U-N. I don't believe we're a solid island or thing that's choosing and making a destiny as a noun. I believe all there is selfing, which is a verb that leads the mind to believe there's a noun. Yes, that's all. So when the noun gets questioned and you see through the noun, there's two movements that seem to go the opposite way. We believe we're in something that we can't be, we're trying to get out of something we're not in, and we're trying to get into something we're not out of. That's simple. We're not. That's what the head does. The head is trying to get out of what it thinks it's in and tries to get into what it thinks it's out. Yes. So you're trying to get into the moment because the head thinks it's out of the moment. You're trying to get out of head because the head constantly thinks it's in the head. Yeah. The fact is, you're not. And there's the relief. Yes. Yes. And what causes the agitation really isn't the idea of being in, it's the interest and attention in it. Yeah. When our interest and attention gets withdrawn, it becomes a comedy routine, tell you the truth, in most cases. Instead of a serious production, it's a comedy. Yeah. So, yes, that self can't get out of self. Is a recognition or an observation or a revelation that doesn't call you to arms, but disarms you. So you stop trying to get out of what you're not in. And that's what you would call the out of self. Yeah. Is the realizing you're not in, tell you the truth. That's how I see it. Yeah.
Mahalo, Paul. Yeah, I'm just
And
staying on that.
if you think you're up the ass of self, just,
Right.
call up a divine proctologist, have them pull you out, have her pull you out, and, take some breaths. And then when you go back up the ass of self, after a while of all the going up and getting pulled out, you're going to recognize something sooner or later. Yeah. Especially if you've heard this understanding. Yeah. You're not that which is up the ass of self, and you're not that which is saying it's now out of the ass of self, only to be back in soon. You're neither of those. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I see myself.
You sound like you're in self or something, in ass. You're in the ass.
I
Got a weird echo.
am. I feel like this is new. This is new.
Is this
for
the
me.
first broadcast I've ever heard from within the ass of self?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I'm staying on the operating table. Let's just leave it there. Mahalo.
Yeah, that's a good thing, honey. And I'll tell you, and then honor it when this seeming incredible, infinite, long-lasting storm blows over. Honor it, yeah? And remember the demonstrations of the truth in this fucking parody of falsehood the head's presenting all the time. Yeah? Please honor the relief. If you're talking about wanting it and hoping to get it and you once had it, well, when it appears, honor the fucking thing. Yeah? I swear it has a very potent effect on the storyline of the false evidence that wants to so much appear to be real to us. Yes? When something demonstrates the working of this message, honor it. Yes, please. Make a little moment, a mobile temple, a little pranam, whatever. Just honor it, because the head will forget a miracle in a half an hour. And it will keep going back to a seeming slight for 40 fucking years. Yes? It's got a prejudice. It does not flow objectively. It's bias. It leans in a certain way. Yeah? So when you have a demonstration of a better way or another way, honor the demonstrations. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. And as someone said, Craig said, all the scales don't have to go 100% one way from the 100% the other way. It's 50%, 0.1, just a little more. Yeah, it triggers the whole avalanche. Yes, yeah. This isn't like extreme loss of interest. Complete loss. No, it's just sufficient loss of interest to not feed the fucking finite fire. Yeah. And then it goes out. Yeah. It's just the way it goes. You've been blowing on it all fucking day. What do you expect? Yeah, just yeah. Truly, unless you want to be a super person, yeah. You know, my spiritual journey or search had a lot of nobility, but basically, as soon as I felt satisfied and content, I had no interest in sitting for 13 hours straight on my skinny ass. I just didn't. It just, I don't care to accrue powers. I don't give a shit. I just want to travel lighter throughout how much time I have through this little, you know, mental arcade we're going through. Yeah. I'm sure when you're not a body, levitating isn't going to mean much. Levitating means a lot if there's a body, maybe, but if you're spirit and you're flying all the time, what's an inch gonna mean? I don't think the spirit gets cold. I don't care. I can concentrate and warm my body up. Great. But I'm not in a fucking freezing cold cave. I've got central heating here. I'd much rather travel lighter through whatever life has in store for me for this phase. Who knows what happens? Yeah. Who knows the mystery? But I do know something now. Something's happening, seems to have its own momentum. Yeah. And it's not wise to argue with it because you're going to lose. So, you know, how are you going to fit yourself around it? I don't know. For me, I've been wanting to get out of here since I was 6 years old. I lost all interest in escape for years now. That's the great wisdom of no escape. You can't escape from an imaginary place. It just doesn't work. I tried very much. Yeah, you can't. So here I am. I mean, if you had options, so have you seen anybody? Think of every person you know who have died. Have they showed back up? I don't see this people come back for second helpings here. I basically, hopefully it's one and out. It used to kill me. Do you ever remember that movie where I think it's Nicolas Cage is an angel and he wants to go horizontal with some lady and he's willing to give up his fucking eternal life of brightness to fucking go horizontal with a babe? Give me a break. What fucking angel's going to make that deal? I'd give anything to be a person for a minute. Most people would give anything not to be a person for a fucking minute. Take my wings away. No fucking way. Been there, done that. I mean, it seems arrogant. You know, when you watch in the movie, someone dies and someone's grabbing him. You can't do this to me. I mean, the self-centeredness is incredible. Yeah. Let the fucking person die. You can't leave me alone. Hey, well, it's just insane. Self has a great story to continue itself. It says it's when the body dies, it's going somewhere else. It's just going to jump off and into something else. It's like a voice box on the blow up doll. When the blow up doll doesn't get blown up anymore, the voice box, nothing happens. The voice box doesn't take off and transcend. It's part of the body. The blow up body. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going a little crazy. Thank you so much for tonight. I appreciate seeing everybody. Yeah. You know, don't you get something comes through, yeah, with all of us. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let me finish saying goodbye. I'm sorry I didn't get clear that call from know what I hate? I hate collect calls from up the SSO. Those I hate. Because those tend to be a long conversation usually. All right. So we got Anand, Sindhu, Christine and Kona, Fletch, Susan K, Shannon, Susanna W, James O in Japan. Nice to see James. He dropped in again. Nice to see you, bro.
Hi, Paul. Great message. Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And
Yeah.
everyone, pleasure to see you. Tyler, everybody. Madeline. Drop in again, Madeline. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Paul. Message was hitting like a train tonight. Super happy to be here. Thank you.
Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. See you, Mike, and everyone, and everybody. Hey, I'll see you soon, Anu, eh?
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Paul. Night, Paul.
Mahalo.
Good dude.